What's going on, Ryan, Herb, and Paul, for everyone else? What's up, y'all? It's time for Guitar Safari, and we're in the house. We're about to show you 5 of our favorite guitars. Today, 1 volume, 1 tone. Yeah.
Love it.
Love it. That was terrible.
You know, and I was talking with Ben the other day, and he is working hard on our theme song. Already has the drum track down, been messing with which rig to use. And so I'm telling you, I've gotten some previews. Gonna love it.
And apparently, the more annoying I can make these precursors, the faster
he works on it. Yeah. Well, welcome everybody. You want to go ahead and welcome our first and Paul McNary and all the cats, followed by Ryan of OU812 and Herb of Fireside Studios with a quick third, and sneaking in under the wire just now, Lucas of L&M Guitar Corner. Welcome, folks. Welcome. So Seth, when we left last week, right, we had no idea what we were going to do this week, and we kind of banded ideas. Good morning, Wayne. Welcome in, buddy.
What up, Wayne?
Kind of, batting around these ideas, and nothing kind of really stuck, right? And then you came up with something brilliant, and you said,
I was just moving all my stuff, and I'm finally moving into my new house, and I was looking at it, I was like, hey, I just showed off my number 1, so I recently had to go and get it, and so I had to go through my other top guitars that are in the storage. I said, why don't we show off like our favorite, our top 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like our Quiver. If you have your bow and arrow, you got your Quiver. I always had a Quiver with surfboards. So yeah, man, I know you got 5 at least, and I have like my top 5. So I figured that'd be a good, and we could get some input from everybody else who probably has at least, I would say, so my wife was saying, does everybody have 5 guitars? I said, pretty much everybody in our chat.
Yes. Anyone that's here is going to have more than 5.
I was going to chime in if you have less than 5, but like pretty much everybody's got 5.
Yeah. A lot of these folks are going to be like, can I pick 10? Really? Come on.
It was just time, right? We spent 10 on each, or 5 minutes on each guitar. We got 10 guitars between you and me. So
yeah. Well, and then I was sitting there thinking about it, and there are no guitars here that I don't have. I don't. If I don't like it, I don't keep it. Right.
Right.
And so Ryan says he'll take 20. Yep. Hey, Fred. Good morning to you. And so sitting there started thinking about that, and I was like, well, how do I pick my 5 favorite? Am I going to go by the ones I pick up all the time? Am I going to go by the ones that I've built on and have that connection with there? And it was like, do I go by value? Because honestly, coffee and weed. Okay, coffee and weed. Was that what's going on here? Are you doing subliminal messaging in the middle of the show? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so thrown off. No, not at all. But I'm like, so I really, because I have guitars that are, that are worth more than the others, but they're not my favorites.
Dollar value, emotional value, playability, and being a builder, Charles, you know how it is when you finish one that is like, oh man, this one I don't know if I want to sell.
Yeah, and I came down to that. It's like, okay, what are the ones I actually love to play? And this is what it had to come down to. It didn't matter what its value were, right? And so when I went and picked my 5, I really thought about it. And there were a couple I was arguing about because for different reasons why I like playing them, right? And so when you're limited to 5, you got to make those choices. And there was a comment here. Here we go. Herb from Fireside Studios. He says he has 2 ESP MH301 with DiMarzio in the neck, and a Super 3 in the bridge, with a Duncan Screaming Devon.
Ooh, yeah.
So that would definitely be
top 2.
Yeah.
ESP is a killer. I don't have an ESP.
So I mean, so we've got some good, and I believe Ryan when he says he needs 20. There's not a doubt in my mind about that.
It's funny how even 5, you're like, well, shoot, I'm leaving something out, right?
Yes, exactly. And it was like I never before I started this whole journey, I never would have thought that, right?
Right.
Like to this day, my wife will still walk in, in here into the studio, and she'll walk in and say, "Do you really need that many?" It's like, why do you need another one? You're done, aren't you?
My top 5 doesn't even cover necessarily all the tone categories that you might have in a top 5. So if you're going by the book for a top, you should have a Telly, a Strat, probably some kind of Les Paul Gibson-y device, maybe a 335, or some kind of hollow body, and a really nice acoustic. Whoa, there I am. A really nice acoustic.
And I want to go ahead. I'm so sorry to cut you off.
No. So I'm just saying, like, my top 5, it's not necessarily that. It's not a tone top 5. It's a guitar, emotional guitars that are, mean something to me. If I need something for tone, I'll build it or go get it. Definitely.
And for in my top 5, I still have guitars in my top 5 that I'm still tweaking, right? And just because you're trying to get somewhere out of it. I want to go ahead and welcome Ryan Hall into the chat. Thank you, my brother-in-law, my music brother-in-law, as he likes to say. And so we welcome Ferd Burfel and Blackjack Guitar.
Ferd and Blackjack.
So,
named Ryan Hall. He's called Ryan Hall, y'all. On YouTube, he does weather stuff. And check him out. I mean, it might be the same Ryan Hall. If it is, let me know. He does these weather analyses of what's going on. It's really interesting. I watch that, dude.
Well, in the chat, I've got to get this out early in case Lucas decides he needs to go somewhere. But Lucas has given us his top 5, and it's pretty impressive. So he's got a PRS CE 24.
Yep.
Okay. He's got a Fender American Professional Strat in the HSS configuration.
Yep.
He's got a Fender American Professional 2 Telecaster Deluxe, which is absolutely gorgeous.
Perfect.
And I'm going to steal one day. He doesn't know it. Don't tell him. And then he's got an Ibanez AZ Premium and a Lavari OM. And because there's got to be one acoustic in there, right? And each one of those guitars, I'm telling you, is absolutely beautiful. And I can see why they made his top 5.
Yeah, top notch.
So I think here, so guys, as you get, as you enter your top 5, we're going to try to make sure we go in the chat and grab those. But Seth, you want to start with one of your top 5? And
sure.
I don't know if we need to do this in really like a 5, 4, 3, because it's like even in my top 5, I couldn't tell you what the number 1 is.
Yeah, I'm gonna go kind of quick, and if people see one that they really want to know a lot about, let me know, and I'll do a video on that guitar. I'm just not KDH. I'm not set up yet to like do all that, but someday I'm gonna be doing my reviews on. So we did my number 1, which also, like an idiot, I left it home because I was listening to Tony's show as I'm packing up my car, and I was like, and I was bringing. Ended up bringing like 7 guitars, but it ended up being 6 because I forgot my number 1. But everybody saw my number 1. It's a Hardtail Strat, a 1983 Sienna Burst. My number 2 is a 1964 Gibson acoustic.
Very nice.
This was a gift from my stepdad as he got older and was unable to play. He passed this down to me and said, keep playing songs with it. He actually had it, owned it for like, I don't know. He owned it for 45 years or something like that.
That is, I'm beyond jealous with that. Before we go any further, let me welcome a couple people here. We got Hip Metalworks in the chat. And want to welcome you in. Appreciate you showing up, buddy. And Ryan had a really interesting comment. He says, "Look, he's like, what if I need a 6-string and a 12-string acoustic? And I'm going to make a dispensation for him. We'll give you a number 6 because I see where you're going." And of course, he did follow that up with, "Great, now he needs a double neck acoustic." So you gotta love it. All right. So since you started out with the acoustic, I am going to go ahead and share mine. And this absolutely has to be in my top 5 because since I bought the Guild,
yeah,
this is almost always one of the first things I pick up, just because I don't have to plug into it. It sounds beautiful, and I've gotten to the point now where it sounded so great when I first got it that I didn't want to change the strings because I didn't want to change the sound, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now I've been playing it so much, it's time to do a string change on it. But ever since I got this, and I staked this out in the pawn shop for about 6 months before I pulled the trigger on it.
Wow.
And because I waited that long, I got the deal. I got pretty close to the deal I wanted.
Right.
And I was talking with Ben the week I was getting ready to buy it, and the difference between what I wanted to pay and what they wanted to pay was $9. And Ben said, "Stop being foolish. Go down there and pay the extra $9."
Yeah, don't let $9 kill a deal.
Yeah, he's like, "You're gonna let that go over $9," and but that is definitely in my top 5. It gets a lot of play, and absolutely love the strings. I absolutely love the sound coming out of that guitar. All right, so you're showing me some D'Addario 12 to 53s. Is that what you're recommending to put on it? Those phosphorus.
Well, I'd be kind of slightly upset if you didn't use these. I'm joking, but so they're a coated. It's like never fade away is their thing. If you're playing it a lot, okay, definitely coated. And coated. Some people are going to disagree with me, but hear me out. Definitely coated if you're playing it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if you're not playing it a lot, that's why I restrung with these on my number 2, because it doesn't get played that much. It's kind of once I move into the new house, I'll have it in a better place. I'll play it more. But so coded's on that. So when you do go and open the case and you haven't touched it in a while, you're not bummed out. They're all rusty.
Yeah. And Seth, I want to alert you to something going on in the chat because I know you can't see it. We have just been joined by River Docs, and River Docs has a great channel where he does all these documentaries of different music individuals and tells their stories and groups and all that. And they're awesome. I have not watched one that I have not watched from beginning to end. Right? I won't tear myself away. That's how good they are. So really appreciate you go ahead and joining us today. And I was in his the other night.
Anything on the Saco River in Maine, specifically West Buxton, Maine, which is where my birth father is chilling on the farm. It's actually a big ass farm with a pond and a broken down barn and the whole thing. If he's done anything on the Saco River, please, I'll go search his channel.
Well, this is a music documentary channel.
What? Oh, River. I thought it was on Rivers.
Right. No, it's River Docs is the title, but it is all on music groups, and he's getting ready to start a second channel that's going to be movie stars, right? And
God damn it. Now I got to go and search for a documentary on the Saco River.
Yeah.
And hear all this. Anyway, I'm just joking. You said River Docs. I was like, River Docs. Oh, yeah, boy. Oh, boy.
I'm telling you, check it out. You're going to love it, buddy.
I absolutely.
All right, so
you got to show us your number 2 because I talked about my number 1 and I showed my number 2, so I'm ahead of you. You got to pull out your second favorite.
All right. Well, longtime watchers of my channel will certainly remember my original number 1, and secretly, it still always will be. This is a 20th anniversary Squire Strat. And that it was my first really mod project when I came into guitar, right? Of course, I replaced the pick guard and the control cover. I completely rewired it. It's got a Jimi Hendrix electronics kit in it, and it has pickups out of a Mexican Strat. And then we went ahead, we did the locking tuners on it as well, and we did the Tux nut and string trees on it. So really transformed the look of this. I did some work on the neck, on the frets, and rounding over to the fretboard. I absolutely and thanks to Tessie Switch, right here, I have a little kill switch in it.
Nice.
And so this is, and one of the reasons why this will always be in my top 5 is when I first was modifying guitars, I didn't know how to solder, but my son did, because he was in the solar club working on the solar car and soldering all the time. So we did the soldering work on this together. So nice. This is my father-son guitar, right?
Great.
And so definitely has to be in my top 5. And I will tell you, it plays beautifully. It is very comfortable. This neck is I don't ever wonder where my hand is, right? I don't have to look at my left hand when I play this one. And wow. you know what that means, as a player.
Work all yourself and making it play perfect. Nice.
And, so that one I'm really proud of, just on that standpoint. And I love the look of that. And I've seen, since I've had videos on that up, I've seen other guitars on YouTube where someone has used that same pickguard since then. So
I think I have one of those laying around somewhere. I haven't used it.
Good morning, Janice. Welcome in.
Hey, Janice. How are you doing?
All right. So let me go ahead and solo you out.
Numero tres. This is actually technically not my guitar, but it belongs to my big brother Todd Presley. Todd Presley's kind of the man. This was the guitar as a teenager. It was always in my big brother's bedroom, which I'm not supposed to go in, and certainly not supposed to play his guitar. Look at how it's got the snake bite, because it had the Gibson.
Oh, it had the Gibson tremolo on it.
But that came off, and this thing is all original. Even the original pots, even though they're scratchy, and I've tried to fix them, but I'm just leaving them in for now because I don't play it that much. But this is by far the best pickups in the house. The best pickups I own. These are T-tops, and they're phenomenal. They're just really good. This is, I would call it number 3. We got Strat, 64 Gibson acoustic, and then we have 71 Gibson SG, which it's so funny. My big brother, his birth year is 71.
Nice.
So he ended up with his first guitar that was the real deal guitar was his birth year guitar. How killer is that?
Well, Ryan, thank you for coming in, buddy. Appreciate you being with us.
Right on, Ryan.
That is something. Do you still have the tremolo that goes with that?
No. Nope. And I don't really want to buy one that's not the one that's original on it, because here's the story. We had it, we lost it. Now we don't have it. Why replace it with one that doesn't belong on it? I mean, I don't necessarily want it. I don't know. I don't care. It was always played like that when I was a kid. It was always like my brother's.
Yeah. Well, earlier when we were talking about top 5 guitars, Ferd Burfel was saying he's got 5 on his wall, so they're always in reach, right?
Yes.
And the rest of his are in cases. And so I would think your top 5 would be the ones on the wall. And he is just updating us. That's funny how that works out, because he has just put into chat that his top 5 at present, he has an Epiphone SG Classic.
Oh, nice.
With P90s.
Oh.
With P90s. Love it. He's got a 2014 Epiphone Les Paul Traditionals, which is excellent. I wonder what the color on that is, but that's a real nice guitar. He's got a Squier Strat with the HSS configuration. He's got a Squier Telecaster with humbuckers.
Why the hell is Seth still on full screen?
I don't know, because I didn't do that. That's why.
Dude, you don't want to make our producer angry.
I know.
It's hot.
I'm sorry. Anyway,
he spends most of his time up on top of my workbench, and the dude gets high strung. You know,
he does.
So, sorry.
I should know better. I should know better than to push his buttons. I really should. But going back to Ferd, he's also got that Squire Telecaster with dual humbuckers in it, which is pretty cool. And and this may be my favorite on his list.
Wait, was it a Carbonia telly? How do you put dual humbuckers in a telly? Did he do skinny rail pickups?
No, I imagine they made some that were just dual humbuckers like that.
Yeah, like the body I get that I kind of I call it the LT because it sounds like a Les Paul and it looks like a telly.
Exactly.
I
and like now here's the interesting one on this, the one that I really like, just because Washburn guitars are pretty decent. My first acoustic was a Washburn, and he's got a Washburn 12-string acoustic, and it's one of those Washburn Oscar Schmidt, and he's also got an Oscar Schmidt 6-string acoustic rather. But that Washburn 12-string acoustic, I've always wanted to get my hands on one of those.
Washburn has been around for like forever, for hundreds, I think 100 something years. I think they originally made their nuts out of pterodactyl bone.
And we've got several updates from Furburfel because he watches the chat, he listens to us, and he provides answers right away. Yes. That LP is wine red, and you are correct. He did put the hot rails in it.
Yes.
In the telly. So you nailed it.
Because if you're going into just a standard telly, but Ferd, I would say go on Guitar Fetish GFS. They've got these bodies that are the ones you might have seen. There's one right here behind me that Burgundy Miss. It's a 2 humbucker body. It's $100. They got a bunch of different colors, and pick a couple of great real size humbuckers. And then if you want, you could go coil split. And, you could do single coil too. I didn't really go that route because I like the Les Paul tone on it. So,
and we got a new name in the chat for us anyway. Phil S from Norwich Guitars. Hello, he just got home and joined us right away. So welcome. We appreciate you. And right. The other thing too, Ferd is saying he's had the Washburns for over 20 years, and so
they are of that generation of Washburn that is pretty good quality. Not to say that they were ever super shitty quality, but over there's ebbs and flows where they go into different factors.
When I got my guild, I sold my Washburn. It was a Korean Washburn, black, all in black, double bound, and it sounded great. It sounded great, but I had to have the guild. And so I was like, okay. So the Washburn, I said, I can always get a Washburn, I guess. And, but I love that guitar. So I know why he's held on to those for 20 years.
What's your number 3?
My number 3. Okay. Well, you've had a hand in this one.
Oh, you've had a hand in this one. Yeah, I think which one we're talking about.
Okay, so my cream telly that started with a body from a gigging musician who said it was just too heavy. Nice. And let me go ahead and solo out on this one. And so he said the body was just too heavy to gig with, and he's right. It is a heavy body. But then I paired it with a Chris Schiffelneck off a deluxe Telecaster.
I remember that neck.
Yeah, you were so kind enough to go ahead and to plec that for me, and it came loaded with the vintage tuners on it because that's what he has on his. And the pickups in here are the Dylan Toxtone flat 6 pickups.
Oh, kill!
And now Martin and Lucas of L&M Guitar Corner also have a hand in this because Martin helped me to originally I had wired this as a with a 4-way switch, but but I decided that I wanted to go with a Baja wiring after hearing Martin play his, and so it's got an S1 switch in it now, right? It's got an S1 switch in it now, and so it is not only the whole 4-way, but it's the whole Baja wiring now. So I have so many options in this guitar. It is so versatile, and this is my all Fender parts build.
Great.
That I did for cheaper than I could buy it.
Totally.
So, and I absolutely love this one. So, and the neck on that one, that's another one where the neck is ever since you plucked it. I didn't even realize the difference in playing it until I was shooting my Telly Tuesday video.
Mm-hmm.
And I was playing, and I went through and played all the Tellys I had that were together, right? There's 2 more Tellys that aren't together,
right?
And because they're ongoing projects. But when I was editing the video and I was looking back on it and how comfortable I was playing, you could see how comfortable I was playing with each one of. You go back and watch that video, you'll see I was completely comfortable on that neck, and everything was a lot smoother. And it was visually seeing that. I love the feel of most of my necks, but it was the thing that kind of occurred to me as watching myself play back. That was probably the neck I was most comfortable on.
It's also nice to have one that's plec for when you're setting stuff up and you're learning setups and all that, and the fretwork on that one is perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If anything else going on with it and it's not treating you right, then it's not the frets.
Yeah.
And usually,
Well, that's my no excuses neck.
Yeah, right. And it plays great.
This is you. This is all you, because the neck is right. Go ahead, Gear Junkie 35. Thank you for coming in, buddy. Appreciate you. And Ryan, thank you for saying sweet looking guitar on that Telly. It is actually one that it's kind of a pride and joy for me.
Totally.
And Herba Fireside Studio says he'd like to have a Telly with a P90 and a lipstick pickup in it.
Oh,
that's interesting.
90 in the bridge.
Yeah. And thank you, Janice. Appreciate that. Lucas says he loves that Telly as well. So, you and Martin got me going on what the end outcome of that Telly build should have been, because they were with me along on that build.
Right.
And then once I had it done, and then we did this whole. They had done this whole video where Martin had wired 3 different controls for his Telly, so he could just substitute them out, right?
Okay.
With quick connectors and everything. So he had one that was standard wiring, one that was Baja wiring, and one that was Esquire wiring, I think it was.
Oh yeah.
And so that you could quickly change them out, change out the control plate in like 2 minutes and have a completely different guitar. And so it was from that and watching the comparisons back and back on the different wirings, I decided I had to have the Baja wiring. So
quick connects with different control plates. So 2 screws, quick connect for the pickup, drop in the control plate. And
exactly.
I bet you could make a quick plate that you could just pop, click out and click back in, to where the quick connects are fixed so that they're in the same place, so that when you just push it in and so it's not, you know what I mean? But that would be a lot more engineering. That's awesome though.
Yeah.
I thought of getting tricky like that with insetting some magnets to hold a pick guard on instead of doing screws.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we talked about that when he was doing it, because he's still using screws, and I said, well, if you're changing them all the time, you may want to think about magnets, because that might be a way to go. And so it's a matter of finding that mechanism. It's got to be out there somewhere, right? Just got to be a way to do it.
Oh, there's got to be a clip mechanism.
And then hold on one sec. Phil S. Norwich Guitar says he was lucky enough to go to Washburn's UK 10th anniversary in the late 90s on a floating Chinese restaurant in London. Nuno and Beato were both in attendance.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is wild.
Wait, Beato was there?
Not Beato. Batio.
Oh,
Batio.
wow. Well, that's good
Yeah.
too.
I'm dyslexic, so my mind is looking for a name I'll recognize, and so it goes there. All right, so number 4 is the Carvin.
This is the guitar that I've dubbed like my Excalibur guitar, because meaning like the sword and the stone. Like I couldn't afford to buy this guitar if I would have walked into a guitar store and saw this. This is a God's gift to me through Facebook Marketplace, and Carvin custom 22 pole piece pickups. Those pickups are pretty expensive themselves. It's got this weird kind of trapeze bridge on it. And look at all these controls, people. That's why so many controls? Because it's stereo.
Oh.
So this is the one that got me into like really wanting to go to 2 different amps. So I'll send one signal out to a tube amp and one signal out over to a synthesizer pedal, and then into a couple of other pedals, and then into the PA.
That's a cool way to do that.
Oh, this guitar sounds huge. If you're on stage and you've got the tube amp mic'd, and you've got the synthesizer going through the house board, and then you can split off out of the synthesizer and send the dry signal that went to the synthesizer to another amplifier. So you can get really big with one guitar sound. So I bought this for, and it's a, it's a.
Oh wow!
I'm sure if it's neck through, like a Seth neck for sure. And look at that heel, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, she opened up the case, and I'm like, I think I've seen somebody famous playing these guitars before. And she's like, well, I'm not really supposed to tell you because, my ex-boyfriend would get really mad. This was his. He was a professional musician. And I was like, man, who have I seen playing these things? Mind you, this is in the North Bay, north of San Francisco. And so I bought the guitar. I don't even really want to say how much I bought it for, but let's just say it was under $1,000. Actually, it was around $500. Took it home and did a little bit of research. Did like some internet stalking of her and who it might be, and found Craig Chiquiso from Jefferson Starship.
Oh, wow!
Playing these Carvins in that time, in that era, and living in our area, and they're from our area, and so I kind of noted that. And the next time I saw her out at a like an open mic or something, I walked up. I was like, "Oh, hey, I just want to say thank you so much. Craig's guitar is playing great," and and so that kind of confirmed it for me. I mean, that's like that cool story confirmation. I really want to try to get in touch with Craig and see if he would like.
He might want it back.
Right? He might want it back. And maybe I shouldn't contact him. This guitar is super sweet. It's plecked. It's got a brass nut. It plays great, sounds great, stays in tune all night, and does it what I want it to do. I don't play it enough because it is kind of heavy.
Excellent. So in our chat, in our chat, Herb is issuing us a word of warning. He says he's afraid the show may cause the divorce rate to increase dramatically.
Oh, check it out. This is my new show.
Custom Nichols guitars, and where's that out of?
So Todd Nichols, the dude from Toad the Wet Sprocket.
Mm-hmm.
I went to their show on Friday night. Oh my effing God, dude! Their sound was like an album. Like they have it down so well now that they played so much that when they get the right sound person that can take what there's coming into the mix and not blast it. It wasn't too loud. They put it out through the speakers and it sounded phenomenal. I could hear all of his solos, all the subtleties, all the open, when you're hitting the open string in the solo, like all that stuff, you could hear it. It was fantastic. And so I couldn't afford the guitar, but I got the shirt.
Oh yeah, there you go. You gotta love it. And so some updates from the chat. Ferd Burfel. He is working on a thin line teleparts caster with a sink coil in the bridge and a mini humbucker in the neck. Oh, and he's going back and forth with Herb at Fireside Studios about this. And Herb is saying he wants to hear it when it's done. And so do I. I'm fascinated by this idea.
Seymour Duncan mini humbucker in the neck? I'm just interested because that's a great combo. I love the mini humbucker in the neck.
Yeah, he's got a mini humbucker in the neck and a single coil in the bridge. And so those would be great both if they were if they were Seymour Duncan pickups, wouldn't they?
I mean, it'd be good if they're the Dylan pickups too, but I mean, pickups are a thing. You go for the high end, and usually you do pretty well. I have this. I recently built a Strat with bare knuckles in the bridge, a bare knuckles high output humbucker, and damn, that pickup is good. It's just they're expensive. It was a gift to me. A really good friend, old client, didn't need it. Gave me the pickup, so I saved it for a while and put it into a build.
Mm-hmm.
So good. They're expensive.
Yeah. Well, hello there, Guitar Man 45. Appreciate you mobile listening in on us. And let's see. Keith H., welcome to the party. Appreciate you, buddy.
What up?
And I love this. I love this. We have a name of Not Visible. Love it. Oh, okay. So I guess it's my turn, huh?
You're on number.
I guess this is 5, isn't it? No, wait, 4. All right. And so this is
you're on 4.
A really super inexpensive guitar. And it is a Firefly 338. And it kind of filled my desire to have a semi-hollow. And of course, when I had it, it was when I first got it, it had a traditional 335 pick guard on it, and all the knobs were completely all black, and the tuning keys were just stainless. And this thing, it's super light. It has a great sound. The pickups are microphonic on it, so eventually I want to go ahead and replace them. But so I've done a couple things to it. It's got a roller bridge on it because eventually we're going to go ahead and put on a Duesenberg.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And then I found I was going for this whole tuxedo look, so I went with the black and white speed knobs and changed to a white poker chip and switch tip on it. And I put I modified a Les Paul pickguard on here.
Oh, killer. Yeah, looks good.
And so this one I love to play it both I love to play this both plugged in but even more acoustically. It just truly rings out. And like you said, it's a very inexpensive guitar.
Well, you got shitty pickups, so that's probably why you like to play it acoustically.
Right. And but the pickups they do sound good as long as you but they can be they are pretty microphonic. But the tone of them is not bad. Let me solo you out here. Yes, some Bartolini's in there would be rather nice. We might need to talk about that. We might need to talk about that.
I don't know. It's not that I, got the hookup on these. These would be fantastic. And 4 conductor.
Yes, because I want to do I was going to go ahead and do the Jimmy Page wiring on that.
Patton Bartolini 4.
Nice.
The PBF. Bartolini took a little bit of acid, he was super cool, amazing dude. That's why his pickups are so space. Am I singled out because we're doing my 5th guitar? Okay.
Yes, you are singled out. Let me just say a couple things in the chat real quick though. River Docs has made his way out. If he's still here, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate that.
River Docs. I'm sorry about the confusion there with the river thing.
And Mark's Gas Station has joined us. Welcome, Mark. Appreciate you here. And let's see. So Yeah, and Phil S. From Norwich Guitars looks like it might be good for a BB King sound, and it definitely does have that tone in it. I just want to get some pickups that aren't so microphonic.
Yeah, roll that tone back all the way and go.
Exactly. And welcome to Martin from L&M Guitar Corner. We are doing well, and he just finished dinner, and so we are thrilled that he's here with us. We threw you some compliments earlier, so go back and watch the replay. All right, so show us your number. Is this your 5?
Yeah. Oh, wait, it's always funnier on replay, by the way. The 10% at least.
10% guaranteed.
So this is my Lakewood acoustic. Now, Lakewood is handmade in Germany. Let's do it this way. And then somehow I got the that's not permanent there. This dude, he comes off.
Is that Abraham Lincoln?
Yeah, he was on a beer promotion. I like Abraham Lincoln, kind of, but I don't know that much. He's probably a terrible person. Schaller keys on it. Oh my God, it smells so good. That's also a little peel off sticker there that De Los Muertos deal.
Yeah.
But these are the thing about Lakewood is that they're hand done by a single luthier.
Mm-hmm.
So the one person picks all the wood, the one person builds the guitar start to finish, and then they kind of have, look at that back.
It is beautiful. It is beautiful. I love the green in that.
And then the nice spruce top. And so this isn't like what you would see on a $500 guitar.
No, does this sound as good as it looks?
This one 20 some odd years ago cost me like $1,500. I haven't tuned it. It's been 6 months in the case, so let's see. Oh,
as always, 6 months in the acoustic is always going to need to be tuned. Yeah. And Phil S. Guitar is saying Lakewood are super cool. Took a chance and stocked a few way back. Still chat to the guy. He sold one to and taught his kids. The rest of the staff used to call them driftwood until I sold a couple because they didn't know what they had, right? Yeah.
But they're a lot less expensive.
Yeah. So Phil S. knows exactly what you're talking about with those Lakewoods.
Yeah, Lakewoods are really nice. So here's the thing. I'm a big dork. The reason I really got Lakewoods or wanted to try Lakewoods is because the singer of my favorite band, Toto Esfraga, plays it. And I always like that tone and tried to emulate his singing voice as well, but I can't do that because he's got a smaller frame and just a better pitch. Not better, a different pitch. And he sounded so good the other night. It was crazy.
Well, so we could pay attention to the chat here. I'm going to go ahead and show off my 5.
Ooh, yes.
And, you may have seen this one on the channel before.
Oh, yeah.
And it was really funny. This was a guitar that I bought off an auction, and I put just a spite bid on it. I didn't expect to win it, but I just wanted the guy, I was like, I want that guitar, but I don't think I'm going to win it, but I'm going to raise the price by $1. And I did it in like the last minute and ended up winning the guitar. And then we fabric topped it. This was just a regular Affinity Squire, black with a white pick guard. And we fabric topped all of it. I put Fender standard tuners on it. And
binding too, right?
Huh?
You did the binding too as well.
Yes, I double bound it as well. It's got a black band of binding on the inside and then cream on the outside.
Don't overlook that 4 hours of work.
No, that's
a lot of work. That looks so good, dude.
And so this is and of course you can see its sister hanging there that I really apologize to Unfucking Believable, but I have not had the time to box it up and to send it out to him. And there's more to the story on this one, though. this guitar is due for a pickup swap, because when Martin came over for NAMM, he gifted me a set of Tone Rider pickups for it. And as soon as and so when Music Therapy Laz gets around to sending me a package, then this will get a pickup swap in it.
Oh, nice. All right. Yeah.
It's going to have the Tone Rider pickups in it with just a standard, standard tele wiring in it. And but this one I absolutely love. And so it's, the order that I normally pick up my guitars, I'll pick up the acoustic because it's easy and convenient. But if I'm going to plug in something, it's usually this one.
Right.
Okay, let me put that over here and unsolo. All right, so let's see what's going on in the chat. And so, all right, we read that one.
So here's the thing, people. Now we're getting down to the real nuts and bolts of life here. Okay, so what would be the two, and only two, if you could? So we've just chosen our 5 favorite children. They're all beautiful children. We've raised them. Some are smarter than others. Some are better looking than others. But we now have to take only 2 children. Sorry, the lifeboat only got so much space, and you got a couple of kids that aren't as smart or as pretty as the other ones. So, what are you gonna do? What's your top 2?
Well, a couple things, and I thought about that, and I really, really racked my mind about it, right? And just to kind of give a nod to what's going on in the chat here, Janice reminds us, we're all waiting on packages from Laz. It's just, and it's one of the things. He's a great guy, but he's a great guy, but time management is not his forte. Let's just say that. And then Munch says he still thinks that that telly is due for a magazine cover, and I don't disagree with him.
It's sweet.
Okay, so do you want to go first? Let's show me. Let's show one of the 2 that you got to take with you on safari.
I'm not going to decide. I'm quitting guitar. That's it. I'm taking a kazoo with me, and one of those things that goes boing da boing da boing da boing da boing da boing. So I'm the kazoo guy, and hope that somebody else brings other guitars, and I'll borrow their shit. Here's the thing: if Buddy Presley ends up giving me his Takamine, then I would have other ones to think about. But right now, it would be 64 Gibson, and it would be the Strat.
Yeah.
So I have a Strat that I could get a lot of tones out of. I know I can get most of my tones out of that because it has humbucker. Has pearly gates in it, so I can, if I have a good amp, I can get anything out of that guitar. I don't have it with me to show everybody, but it's the Sienna Burst Hardtail Stratocaster. I'm sure no one's ever seen one before.
It is gorgeous. It is just gorgeous. Okay, so on my end, there's no 2 ways about it. I've got to take the guilt. I can't walk by the thing without at least plucking a string.
Why the hell is Presley stop those rain? Oh,
I'm sorry, but for me it's that guilt because I can't. I'm serious. I cannot walk by it without plucking a string. Right.
Oh, right.
Even if I'm not going to pick it up, it's like boom, and of course I've got a plan to stay sane on safari, right? I figure I'll take this telly with me because then I'll always have somebody to talk to.
Right.
And if when I get tired of these, I can talk to these.
Mm-hmm.
So,
It's nice to incorporate the artwork.
When we start fighting, I can flip it over.
Totally. Bring some artwork with you, and also bringing pretty ladies with you is never a bad idea. So.
Yeah. And so Herb from Fireside Studio, he's given us his 2, right? His Kramer SM1 and his ESP MH301. Now, Herb, is that Kramer SM1 the one that you hollow flashed? Just out of curiosity.
Herb's got a great tone. He does those. He's into doing the shorts. We've been doing some shredding.
And he is, and he's new to YouTube within the past year or so. And the quality of stuff that he's putting out. If you're not watching Herb of Fireside Studios, go ahead and join that. I'll see if I can't get that link up here in a little bit. But I really have enjoyed his channel. And Wayne says he's got to admit that telly looks really nice, and I appreciate that. Let's see. Monch says that he take his 79 Gibson Les Paul 2550 anniversary.
Ooh.
Oh, and you're going to like this next one. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Wait.
I want you to stabilize yourself. I want you to stabilize yourself in your chair so you don't fall out. Okay. It is 1966 Hagstrom 12-string.
Oh, I've seen it. I know the guitar.
Yeah.
And so he's had it forever, and he traded something for that guitar, didn't he? Like, traded something. He was kind of remorseful about it, but I was like, I think it was him that traded for that guitar a long time ago. But he's had completely redid it. It's so nice. So good.
And we've got some advice for our producer Sherman. Blackjack guitar is concerned that Sherman has had way too much caffeine. All right. Phil S. Norwich Guitar says
always high strung and
always
wanting to fit in. He's a big part of my life. I worked on the movie Peabody and Sherman with DreamWorks for like 2.5 years. So every day of my life was strong. I worked on a Halloween movie for like 1.5 years, and every moment of your life is Halloween for a year. It becomes to be a thing.
I love this sharing that's going on in the chat about the guitars, because Phil S. Norwich Guitar is saying he loves the new Harley Benton Pro Series Fusion that he got. It was stainless steel frets, Wilkinson tremolo, locking tuners, and did he mention stainless steel frets? Because and so this is a nice guitar, yeah. And Herb is reminding me it's the Beretta Special that he hollow flashed, not the other one. But again, that Beretta Special hollow flash was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. His SM1 is an HSS configuration orange guitar. It's the orange guitar in his videos, the one that we used to talk about.
Oh,
yeah. Okay, and Guitar Man 45 has made it back to his command center, so he's seeing us in beautiful color vision now, I guess. All right, Janice Lala's giving some. Janice has a Dean Vedetta XMT, and she's got a quart Strat, but she's kind of waffling on the quart Strat because she might want to take the resonator because it doesn't need the electricity. She's got a really nice resonator guitar that.
But we didn't necessarily say like you were going to a desert island with these guitars. Like you're going to a luxury facility with tons of amps and people that are going to massage your feet while you're playing these two guitars.
And I think whenever there is this thing where someone's asking you about your desert island guitar, there's the caveat that you have a solar powered amplifier. I'm sorry.
Solar power, unlimited beer supply, pretty nice size garden for stuff. And then adequate mosquito netting. These would be things that I have to have because I'm not just going out like that. I'm not going to go get malaria.
Mm-hmm. Well, I must have missed it in the chat. Someone was talking about a melody maker, and Monch was saying he wishes he still had a melody maker, so he misses it. And L&M Guitar Martin is back in. He apparently has some connectivity issues. You missed everything, so it's a good idea if you got a plan to go ahead and watch that replay. You'll enjoy it.
From my brain synapses in here that aren't quite making it. I
but
get it.
Yeah, so Martin, I don't know how much you missed, but we went through showing off the rest of our 5, and my last one was the Pinup and Skulls Telly, and I talked about how we were going to do the Tone Rider pickups in it that you have gifted me. We're just waiting on them to arrive.
Yeah, man.
And then we shared some folks in the chat have been sharing about what their number 1 and number 2 that they would take with them if they were to go on safari. All right. So yeah, Mont, you're going to have to start looking for another melody maker. I think that's just the way it is.
Hey, quickly, I want to go back to Harley Benton and their stainless steel frets and their very affordable, like really good guitars. They're great, and they're like, I've been on the fence about buying headless bellows for a while, but I kind of have a conscience that tells me that you can't make an electric guitar with stainless steel frets and an ebony fretboard and semi-good pickups and all these things and sell it across the world all for $450 without a little bit of slave labor being involved. So I hesitate to jump in and buy these products just because I don't advocate slavery, right? It's not cool, and it's definitely going on. And I'm pretty sure that some of these guitars that we are buying for $150, $200, $299, $399, $400. I'm not crucifying everybody out there that are manufacturing guitars, but I guarantee you, if they did a good inquiry, you'll find some freaking slave labor going on in the inexpensive guitar manufacturing realm. So, although I'll be the next one and I'm honest about it. I'll tell you guys when I order my $400 Tello. Here's my China slavery guitar. But just think about it when you order it.
One of the things it is so hard to follow up on all that stuff and figure out who's making what in what way, right? And what are the conditions of the factory. So the more we get to see some of these factory tours that a lot of YouTubers are doing, it gives us at least some information to kind of work with there.
Is there paint diluted with child tears?
I'm just gonna leave that one alone.
Saying, dude, like some of these guitars coming out of Indonesia for $400, that's not like maybe they're just paying people like not a lot of money.
So Martin says, "Oh well, on a safari, I'd take something that's hard to break. Certainly not a set neck guitar." And one of the caveats that you might have missed when you weren't here, Martin, was that Seth said, "We're sending you to a resort safari." Yeah. So you've got air conditioning, you've got all the different things you're going to go ahead and need. And so somewhere back in the chat, Monch had said, "Oh, Seth just turned this into a dream vacation." And so it wasn't just a safari anymore, because we get to go on vacation to a resort and take 2 guitars with us. What more could you ask for?
Right? I'm trying to put us mentally there. Like, we might not all get a vacation, but in my humble opinion, I would send you all to a very and maybe we don't like all tropical places. Maybe some people want to go wherever, but it's going to be nice and it's going to be chilling. And you get how you call for room service? You call and they bring you any amp you want. Like, I think I want to play a Marshall JCM this morning through a half cab.
Oh, wait, you can room service an amp?
Yeah, they bring you any amp you want through room service. Bing! I'll take it.
Oh, I love this. I love it.
You want okay. Reverb, right? Whatever it is, I can bring it in.
Oh, that is so funny. I'm not sure what this means. But Not Visible says, "I saw Guitar 5000 play a tuna top on his acoustic."
A tuna top?
That's what it says. This is I saw, and so I've got all kinds of images swirling around as my head.
Tuna top, maybe.
Martin, the answer on that is I don't think so. I'm anticipating. Oh, go ahead, Seth. I'm sorry.
Well, I don't know. I was stirring on tuna top. Now,
yeah.
I've seen Gibsons that like the tops were really nice and they were done pink and it looked kind of like sashimi.
You're gonna like this response from Wayne McConnell. For him, it's a red 93 Strat Ultra, with lace center pickups and a TBX tone control.
I know exactly what guitar you're talking about. Chef's Kiss. Yeah, the Ultras with those lace, especially lace handles high output. Like you put lace on a Mesa, it does really well. And they have good clean too.
Gear Junkie 35, you're right. That might have been a reference to Glary because I couldn't see how they could produce those any other way. Let's see.
Glary sounds like the mood of the kid that's manufacturing the guitar. It's pretty glary today. It's a glary day because I'm in the slave factory again.
You know, Seth, we're at that time. Laz's show has started. Yeah, his show has started. So right. I think we should be we should be respectful and go ahead and end our show here. But I think we start by saying, thank you to everybody, because this was a lot of fun talking about, our top 5 favorites and learning what some of you have in your top 5. Guitar Man 45 is got some things that you just have to see. I could only imagine what his top 5 must be.
Email it.
But I want to thank you all so much, and really appreciate that. Really appreciate everybody coming in and all the interaction with everything today. Please go ahead, and I am dropping the link for Laz's show into the chat. Please go over and join him. Let him know that we sent you, and we look forward to seeing you again next week. So, Seth, you have some outro words you want to say?
No, I'm just making sure to show off the Guitar Safari band. There's been an accident. I'm not sure that Sherman's going to make it through that one.
Sherman might have to do some recuperating.
If Sherman made it or not. Have a great week, everyone. It's going to be fun hanging out. I love you, Dad, if you're still hanging out in the chat. Mom, I know you unsubscribed. It's cool. I get it. And I'll see all you guys next week.
All right. Thank you, folks. Have a great week.
Todd Nichols Guitars, #1.